everybody, I'm Joey Paul and I'm an indie author, and welcome back to my channel. My hand is back to being mine except for the stitches, so this video should be captioned. So today I'm going to talk about my favourite genres. Like most people, I have a lot of genres that I adore, but I wanted to do a video today that talked about my top 3. I love being able to do numbers again. Why I like them and what I like about them. So let's jump right to it. Number 1, crime and mystery. I like this across the adult and young adult categories. I'm not too fussy about which. I know that a lot of the time people will say they're separate or they're one and the same, so that's why I've chosen them as one in particular, it being crime and mystery rather than crime or mystery. Why do I like them? Usually because they're a great way for me to lose myself in a story. I adore all kinds, from private investigator to detective to kids solving crimes to everything in between. It's such a huge and rich genre that I know I will most likely love the thrill of the chase to the end. I've read bad books in this genre, of course, but there are bad books in any genre, and while I am pretty easy to please, I do just love being thrown into the deep end with a crime and try and work out the ins and outs of how it works. So what do I like about them? I've talked about tropes I hate in crime and mystery, and I'll link that video up in the cards. But what I love are many different things. I love the unknown. If the killer is a POV, great. If they're not, even better. I love getting to follow the clues along with the characters and seeing what they see and trying to join the dots before they manage it. I've read so many books that when I find a good series where the author gives me just enough for me to be able to be pulled along, then I will stick with them through all of their books. I love both the indies in the genre and some of the traditional greats like Sue Grafton and Harlan Coben. The latter is someone who I will auto buy for his books because I need to read more of what he's writing, though I do feel like a lot of his work slips into the suspense and thriller section, which I'll cover in a moment. But my first foray into adult fiction was a mystery book by Dick Francis called Hot Money. I never read the paperback, I just listened to the abridged audiobook, but I loved it to the point that as an adult with my first car and it being old enough to have a tape player, I brought the full audiobook on tape and listened to it constantly. I've just always adored the idea of putting the puzzle pieces together and seeing what the big picture looks like, and considering the kind of books I write, this should come as no surprise to any of you. I think crime and mystery is the genre I read most out of all of them, and I ain't giving that up for no one. Number 2, paranormal young adult. This is a newer genre to me than crime mystery, in that for a long time I didn't read paranormal young adult because I do not like vampires, and it always seemed to be about them. It's only as the market has grown and my tastes have adapted, still not fond of vampires, but sometimes a story can sell me on them, that I found myself happy to dabble in this genre both as a writer and as a reader. Now, Dying Thoughts has always been in paranormal, and in that regard I was writing the book I wished had been around when I was a teen. But beyond that, with paranormal romance and paranormal mystery and a few other genres I like, I find that I adore the mix of magic and everything else. So why do I like it? Put simply, it's a way for escape while also keeping the elements of a story that I adore. A lot of the time with paranormal, there will be some kind of mystery to solve, even if it's not a straight up mystery book, and I like that. I also feel like it's a way to feed my imagination and also allow me to keep an eye on the market. I write a lot of paranormal and I'm a young adult author, so it makes sense that I'd want to know what's going on out there, but other than that, I just like it. What do I like about it? The exploration of things beyond just humans. I like the myths explored, the gaps between human and not, the communities they have built up, and the way the worlds work. I never knew if I'd like world building, but having read a ton of these books, I've always loved being able to see how their world was different in some way to ours. Whether that's something like Harry Potter, or whether it's something like witches and such being accepted and just kept out of the limelight. I like that the genre pretty much has no limits, so as long as it's something you can explain, then go ahead and write it. That's kind of freeing as a writer and as a reader. Number 3, romance. Now, I know that this can be seen as a bad thing because women being empowered is bad, but that's just crap. What's wrong with a love story where you can also be guaranteed a happy ending? I mean, what's not to love about that? Why do I like it? I just love the idea of two people meeting in some way and then you as the reader getting to follow along on their love story, the journey, the mistakes, the pitfalls and the highs. I just adore it both as someone who reads and as someone who writes. Romance gets a bad rap a lot of the time because people assume it's for girls and therefore icky, but that's BS. As a bisexual woman, I love that these days I can see rap in fiction. I get to see people like me falling in love and being happy, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I adore the stories that include disabled people falling in love because so often it's something we're told could never happen. And I'll admit that from time to time you need the break of the doom and gloom and want to know that at the end, no matter what, these two adorable characters will end up together. What do I like about it? Hello, Mink. I love getting to see people happy and in love. I love getting to see the book end with the two goofballs in each other's arms and know that they're together. And I think that's pretty simple to love. So there we go. Those are the top 3 genres for me when it comes to reading. I have top 3 genres when it comes to writing, but they're along the same lines, so I won't do a video about that. What is one of your top genres to read? Let me know in the comments down below. So this is the last video of 2020 and it's the last day of 2020. So I'm hoping that you all have a wonderful 2021 and it's not as much of a shit show as 2020 was. Which, you know, the bar is low, people. So just want to wish you all a happy new year and I will see you in 2021. So that's all I've got time for today. If you want to support my channel, you can comment, like or subscribe. I post 2 videos on Thursdays. You can find me all over social media and my books are available everywhere. And don't forget to pick up Crime Chronicles of the First Twinge, all the links for which are listed below. Thanks for watching and remember to keep writing. Bye!